Hey everyone, my name is Kabi, long time no see, and today we gonna see yet another game between the light and the dark player on one of the newer maps. And as the blue light player in the bottom right corner appears player who is actually white unicorn, one of the oldest players in our game. Being quite dominant in the very early days of the testing. He's been out of screens for quite a long time, and now more or less he's back in action, and so he sent me over one of his most interesting games, so I decided to share it with you straight away. And his opponent is the guy whom I don't know yet. I'm not sure if this nickname is even meant to be pronounced anyway, because it just looks, to me it looks like a random composition of letters, but maybe it's just supposed to be read in some language that I don't know. For example, mean the other letters that's been on the same keys or stuff like that. So anyway, if you have any idea what does that mean, please share it in the comments. And for now, we're just gonna call him the dark player, the dark guy, I guess. And anyway, we can see Unicorn being pretty much into meta, I guess, but well, not quite, because he's going tier 2 on 8 workers straight with the sawmill at his belt, so it means that the build order is kinda not optimized to economy, but let's see how it goes. And by the way, his opponent's doing pretty much the same stuff, so they play kinda similar strategies, and neither of them are in the meta. By the way, it is the game played in the custom fight, as a custom fight, and Unicorn was at the top of the recruit league. He had around, roughly around 1,000 rating, and his opponent is quite in the Warrior League, so he is above 1.7k. Which means there is a significant difference in the rank, in the rating. But anyway, Unicorn decided to go for it. As you guys probably know, our Legends is quite skill demanding, I guess we can call it that. So you can really overcome with skill if you don't have enough levels on your units or rating. You can still come up with skill. And so anyway, we can see the light player secures his watchtower, going to see what is enemy, what's enemy strategy is about, and in the meantime building the human monument. We don't see any glimpse of the hero altar. So the strategy looks a bit weird to me. I'm not sure if Unicorn might have been disconnected for a bit, because it at least, oh well, it is the Castle 3. So he kinda tries to resurrect his old builds, because back in the day we didn't used to need the Tower of Mana and even a farm to go and level up the castle tiers. So you could go the 3rd tier straight on your initial farm. So you could have actually played quick rocks into tier 2, into tier 3 if you have enough gold and lumber. And Unicorn was one of the guys who used to try strategies like very quick fox riders. And it was quite fancy. We removed it from the game though, because many players end up just going straight 3rd tier into some kind of 2 heroes X masters, and it just wasn't too fun to play or to play against. So now we kind of slowed down jumping between the tiers. And anyway, we see the players changing. One takes one chest and the other tries to take the other, but the knight was a little bit too late for the chest, so the red player was able to obtain that one, and now the knight is coming to scout and see what's even happening in the base of the dark player. And what about the dark player? He has the orcs and the art attack at the same time. And, well, many players now tend to play orc willingly, because catapults are kinda good in the meta. So I think players usually start off with the art attack and then switch to the orc tech, or rather they start with the orc tech but with the riders. We don't see the red guy really playing the riders. He has quite a bit of goons with the necromancers and the chieftain. So that's an interesting composition. He also decided to add a tower of dark magic. I'm not sure why he decided to go for it, because I don't really feel him needing the dark magic kinda, but probably he's just unsure what's happening, so he decided to be safe. Of course, it is in this situation it is the mistake, because Unicorn doesn't actually have a lot, because he spent all of his money to build the second rock, stack it up, get a third castle, so he doesn't really have a lot. So even with all those guardsmen, the red player would still be fine because of the necromancers and the chieftain. And he's also very slow to level up his citadel. But, well, up to the timing of the middle chest, Unicorn is kinda okay with his battle supply. Just because he has a lot of guardsmen, but he doesn't have a hero, so I'm still not... Oh, I only now noticed that he actually has the 3 rocks. That is now a spam of the guardsmen, obviously. But well, I remember myself playing this kind of a strategy on the stream, where I ended up playing on the Asian server, so I had a big ping, so there was a delay, so I realized that I wouldn't be able to micro, so I said like, alright guys, I'm gonna show you how to play the easiest army that doesn't require any micro control, so I went literally for the 3 rocks guardsmen. By the way, I wonder if it's the time to try and start off streaming in English. My English is probably not the most fluent, but I kinda can tell some things, you know, at least between the games, so let me know if you are interested. Because the foreign community is starting to grow, and we are open to more countries now. So probably we might have enough attitude on YouTube or Twitch. We can use all the players at the same time. Alright. I'm probably gonna get a new phone soon, so it will be smooth enough to have an enjoyable stream. And in the meantime, we can see Unicorn doing yet another his trademark stuff, building the quick second base. Myself, I'm too fan of the really quick second base. If I see the opponent being defensive, I don't really like to break them. Rather, I'd go for the second base, build even more production facility, and gotta secure my victory, because you can't really throw anyway if you have enough economy. But, well, it is now somewhat a wall. The red guy is still not taken up to the catapults, which I see as a mistake, to be honest. In the current balance, I really recommend every dark player to play catapults, unless your opponent is kind of mass air. You have to play catapults, I believe. Catapults are awesome. I'm not sure, we probably will have to nerf them. But we are not about to introduce any balance patch really soon, so if you are the dark player, you still have a time to enjoy your catapults. Unicorn decided not to go for it. He sees a couple of zombies, and also I think he wants to drag the fight away from the dark player base, because it doesn't really make sense to fight near the enemy's base if you can fight far away from the enemy's base, because the reinforcements will come way slower. Well, probably Unicorn should have still taken engagement here against this little pack, but he rather builds the castle and upgrades stuff. He's the one to get the assault units, it seems, because he's taken up his factories, also his human monuments, so he's about to build ballista, obviously. And what about the red guy? I think he wants to add the venom spitters, which of course makes perfect sense, because none of these units really hits air. So all the Unicorn will be able to do against that is to use gravity. But you can never tell if the enemy even has the gravity, right? Because they might be short on scrolls, and they might be lazy to play the arena mode, and so they may be only limited to the economical scrolls, or probably defense, or whatever they use not so often, not that often. By the way, we are about to divide arenas soon. We will have the light arena and the dark arena, and if you only play one faction, there will be an option for you to only make one arena, play one arena, 5 victories, and you will get a chest with the only light scrolls, for example, only dark scrolls. Of course, if you would like to take all the rewards, you will have to win the 2 scales, right? Make 10 wins, 5 for light and 5 for dark, but you may as well skip that, only get the scrolls for the faction you need and you play. We will also cut the rewards for additional place in arena, so once you got your 5 fights per day, the other wins will not bring you anything. You can still play it if you want it, just won't be an option to farm in arena anymore. But anyways, it is coming in a few weeks from now. I mean, from the day where I record this. I don't know where you guys are gonna watch this, but it is as per the end of January. So we're gonna introduce it somewhere mid-February, I think. More or less, maybe end of February. In the meantime, the next object is about to pop up, and it seems that from the beginning it was pretty much the strategy for the red guy, and I also witnessed and faced the guys who play like this. So they actually sit back, never go anywhere, and they just wait for Elemental to take one big engagement, try to win it, and try to obtain the summoning stone, so push with the Elemental and win the game straight away. And if you really throw, it can be very painful against a strategy like this. So Unicorn only has 1 hero, while his opponent has 2, and he might end up being in trouble, to be honest, because his units are not of that high quality, and if the opponent doesn't make more mistakes, he will also get more zombies. Yeah, and so he does. Probably he gave away a few units. You always wanna try to refocus all of your army to the next targets in advance when you have zombies, to let the zombies do the last hit. But it's not always too convenient in the big fight, of course. So anyway, Unicorn, who was in the huge advantage throughout the game, now loses the central fight. And that means that he's about to be in the defensive position now. It's interesting though that he doesn't add any kind of the defensive structures, just adds the ballistas and a bit of army. And in the meantime, his opponent is coming with a huge army. His supply capped. By the way, his farm are quite low in leveling, it seems. It is only 89. I'm way lower in ranking, but I have 92, I think. But anyways. Probably the guy doesn't understand why to level up the buildings. But you really want to level up the farm, to be honest. It's arguable if you want to level up the castle or the sawmill, but the farms are kind of must-have. So, Hero Altar going down, but actually Unicorn was already able to get both of his heroes, so he doesn't really need that one. But here are still quite a lot of the dark units. But the dark player is now lower on supply. He lost a lot, but both of his heroes still alive. And in the meantime, Baron goes down. Of course, ballistas do a great job. We can't see how many kills each unit has, but those ballista actually have quite a bit. Alright, it seems that the dark heroes are not about to retreat. So Unicorn just decided to... Alright, I mean, the red player decided to fight till death, but last minute he tried to save the chieftain. Didn't work, but, well, he's at least doing a decent job pressing the buttons. I'd personally like to see the second dark gate. If you play the undead faction, you really wanna add a second dark gate, I think. You probably don't really need the second rocks. You can sometimes play 3 rocks skeleton archer, but I don't really feel it playing 2 rocks. And obviously I also don't really feel splitting it like this. Maybe he order the units in the building itself, but of course you wanna use the hiring panel instead. Alright, so Unicorn will try to counterattack. He still gains more gold, of course, because of the second base. And he also added a bit of helicopters, because he apparently thought that the enemy is gonna mass zombies again. But the enemy actually builds the skeleton archers, but are those skeleton archers about to live any time long? It's questionable. At the same time, Venom Speeders started to attack, and they go straight for the ballistas. As soon as there are only one archer, probably the archer would be the better target. And in the meantime, Unicorn added a couple of towers, and that is yet another his trademark, using the towers as the attack support when sieging the enemy base. Because your enemy will have the towers, so you kinda just equalize that one. Alright, so helicopters still alive, probably worth targeting them down. Unicorn goes for the magic blast. It's interesting, by the way, that nobody decided to go for the mana well in this game, so... Both elementals still alive, I mean those guys. Okay, it seems that it didn't work for the counterattack for Unicorn. I didn't really feel that counterattack, to be honest. Wasn't sure it was a good idea, but apparently Unicorn decided to use his advantage and resources, but for some reason he's doing a poor job equalizing his income. So he mined a lot of gold and now he's missing wood, so it is good how he transfers the workers from one to the other resource. Probably he could have also used the lumberjack scroll. But for that and to do it more often, of course, he would need to capture the mana well. It's not the case though, still. And also the catapults are still not the case either. And there is even the Totem of Orcs too, so the only need that the red player would have is to just upgrade the workshop. And yeah, again, I need to call it out again that he needs the second dark gate. Okay, so now the next summoning stone is about to pop up. And again the red guy is about to go for it. I wonder why does he have so many goons? You don't really want this many goons. Maybe he has some fancy equipment set for the goons, so for this reason he thinks the goons are good. Late in the game, I'm not sure about it.
The point is captured.
But maybe if he thinks there will be a lot of ballista again, he kinda feel it like it's better to play goons than the skeleton archers. And it can even make sense. So Unicorn decided to go base trade. He expected his enemy to capture the summoning stone. Oh, probably he wanted to steal it with one unit. Well, I'd love to see the archer going for it, to be honest. There's just one necromancer, right? Well, probably he didn't realize in time that the enemy... I started from stating that he was expecting that. I'm not sure about it anymore, because he sent one archer. But, alright then. He decided to go for this base trade. So the enemy citadel destroyed. They still have enough resources to build it though. And the problem here is that zombies can really capitalize on this worker land. Unicorn doesn't really kinda understand that. It's just his workers go for the remaining citadel by their own. And here the red player doesn't do the greatest job maintaining the new zombies, to be honest. In a situation like this, what you really want to do first place, you want to take your zombies and click the closest worker, because you really want to make additional zombies. It is very important. But the red guy just lets it go. So it just works how it works. Unicorn doesn't maintain a good control on those workers. Alright. It is now a good mutual work, right? Human and orcs not fighting anymore, just cutting woods. Peaceful picture. Alright, so the normal building kinda about to die. Unicorn found the other citadel.
Base is under attack.
And of course the red guy found out about this base.
Forces are under attack.
Unicorn was able to build an artillery tower on time. So now he needs to repair it, of course. That's now a good pedal, I like it. The worker's about to go down. Unicorn for some reason doesn't press that repair button. Which I take as a mistake, to be honest. But he just tries to win the base trade. But the red player built a lot of citadels. Unicorn also has the Last Hope building. In our game,
Forces are under attack.
it doesn't reveal the buildings when you don't have the main building anymore. Unlike StarCraft, so nobody will know where the sawmill is. Alright, so the worker dies. He's not gonna become another zombie. Maybe it's not too important. This citadel goes down. This citadel is the last one. And the red player is not repairing it. And probably he just thinks he wins the game already. Because he thinks he will be quicker. And he is quicker. Okay, he starts repairing. And now he suddenly realizes that the opponent is probably has even more buildings.
Light overflows me.
And the red player doesn't have any buildings anymore. I wonder if they could have not noticed that the buildings run away, but whatever. Unicorn wins with this fancy base trade against a stronger opponent, which is a good example of the old school good player coming back. So welcome back, buddy. And for you guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.